as I stood at the edge of the rooftop. The neon lights of the megacity below me cast a kaleidoscope of colors across the darkening sky. But my gaze wasn't on the breathtaking view. It was fixed on the figure standing before me. A menacing grin spreading across his face. Victor Vex, the ruthless CEO of Omicron Innovations, sneered at me with a confidence that made my blood run cold. "You're a foolish little inventor, Elian," he spat. "You think you can outsmart me? I've been watching you, studying your every move, and now, I have what I want, the schematics for your revolutionary energy source." I clenched my fists, trying to keep my cool as Vex's henchmen closed in around me. My mind racing, I thought of my loved one, Lyra, who was being held captive by Vex's goons. I had to act fast if I wanted to save her. I reached into my pocket and activated a small device that emitted a high-pitched frequency, disorienting Vex's men and giving me just enough time to make a break for it. I sprinted across the rooftop, dodging the henchmen's wild swings as I desperately tried to escape. I managed to evade my pursuers and made my way to the underground tunnels that crisscrossed the city, my heart pounding in my chest. I navigated the narrow passageways, my eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of danger. I finally reached the entrance to my secret laboratory, a hidden sanctuary where I had spent countless hours perfecting my inventions. But as I burst through the door, I was met with a sight that made my world come crashing down. Lyra, my beautiful and brilliant partner, was standing in the center of the room, her eyes cold and distant. "Elian, I'm sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I had to make a choice. Vex promised to spare your life if I gave him the schematics." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Lyra, the love of my life, had betrayed me. I couldn't bear the thought of living without her. But I couldn't forgive her either. I turned my back on her and walked away, leaving her standing alone in the laboratory. The city, once a vibrant and pulsing entity, now seemed like a desolate wasteland. I wandered the streets, lost and alone, as the neon lights seemed to mock me with their brightness. Days turned into weeks, and I became a shadow of my former self. I stopped caring about my inventions, about my life, about anything. But then, one night, I received a message from Lyra. She was in danger, and she needed my help. Vex had double-crossed her, and she was now on the run. Something inside me stirred, a spark of hope that I thought had been extinguished. I knew I had to act, to save Lyra no matter what. I tracked Lyra to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. As I entered the dimly lit building, I saw her, cowering in the corner, Vex's henchmen closing in on her. Without hesitation, I charged forward, using every trick in the book to take down the goons. When the dust settled, Lyra was standing before me, her eyes shining with tears. "I'm so sorry, Elian," she whispered. "I was weak, and I made a mistake. But I love you, and I'll do anything to make it right." I looked at her, my heart heavy with emotion. I wanted to forgive her, to hold her in my arms and never let her go. But I was scared of getting hurt again. Lyra took a step closer, her eyes locked on mine. "I know I don't deserve it," she said. "But please, Elian, forgive me. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you." I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the sincerity in her eyes. I knew that I couldn't stay mad at her. Not when she was standing in front of me, vulnerable and broken. I took a deep breath, and my heart began to heal. I reached out, and Lyra fell into my arms, her body shaking with sobs. We stood there, holding each other, as the city outside seemed to fade away. In that moment, I knew that we would face whatever challenges came our way, together, as long as we had each other.